Couple of days ago, me and my brother were hanging out late at night doing regular guy things, drinking, watching sports, etc. We haven't seen each other in maybe 5 to 6 years, so naturally, we started talking about life and what's been going on the past few years. Towards the end of our conversation, we started to get to the secrets. I mentioned something along the lines that I smoked. We both laughed about it, saying just don't let mom find out. The joke died out after a little bit, and then he just blurted out, I cheated on my wife. At first, it didn't register until I saw his face and he was dead serious. I for one hate cheaters, but I try to do my best not to judge anyone for their actions. He begins by explaining this was something that happened about 4 years ago when his wife was always busy with work. She would travel a lot and be away for weeks at a time. He told me they were going through a tough time back then, lots of arguing, not communicating, and that he felt really lonely. During this same time, my brother met a girl at his local gym, started off as friends, slowly kept bonding, and you guessed they had love. He told me this occasion only happened once and pretty much cut her off after that night because he started to feel guilty for a short while. A few months later, his relationship turned out for the better for him and his wife. Pretty much after his wife's travels slowed down, his whole relationship has been great. They've both gotten promotions, bought a house, more family vacations. They have a kid. He told me life has been good to him now and he's just thankful things have finally worked out. As stated before, I hate cheaters and I've always felt that the person being cheated on always has the right to know. I know for sure this would probably destroy their marriage and there would be a fight for the kid. My heart tells me I have to tell her because it's the right thing to do, especially because I've known my brother to cheat one other time on an ex-girlfriend a couple of years before his current wife. My brain tells me it's none of my business and I should keep my mouth shut. I don't want to see their kid go through that kind of pain either. On one hand, I betray my brother if I say something. On the other hand, I betray our close family friend because I know this secret and I don't say anything. I wish he never told me. Ignorance is truly bliss. Everyone's the idiot here. Your brother probably confessed to you in the same manner someone confesses to their priest. He needed to get it off his chest. It will probably haunt his mind forever and he deserves that. He told you in a moment of weakness, and while he probably didn't expect your support, he probably wanted your sibling loyalty to listen to him. However, I don't think you should tell her. Talk to your brother. Lay out the situation. How would he feel if his wife had cheated and kept it a secret? He should be the one to come clean to her. That way, he takes ownership of his own mistakes and deals with the repercussions. You are the idiot. Yes, what your brother did was wrong, but you're not a part of his relationship. You have no right to insert yourself into it because you feel a burden on your shoulders from being told this information. Not only did your brother confide in you, but you also gave your word to stay quiet about it. There's no reason to tell the wife besides making yourself feel better, at the cost of your brother and his wife's lives. You should also consider that the second you say something, your brother will paint you as an addict to each and every single member of your family. This, completely. Pretty frightening to know that if I was cheated on, no one would tell me for my own sake. That's awful. I would want to know after 4 years of married bliss that the man I loved was able to look at me all that time knowing he betrayed me and not say anything. The longer it went on, the worse it would be. It will be awful for the wife. She's been living in a lie for 4 years. But it would be far worse if she found out another way after 10 years of living a lie, or 20. Tell the wife. She deserves to make decisions on her marriage based on all the facts. So recently, my GF and I went to visit my grandmother and great-grandmother down south for our spring break. We are both 19-year-old college students and we go to school in New England, USA. They really loved her. They spoiled her throughout the week, and she was so grateful, and so was I. We were both so happy that they took to her so nicely. I had definitely been nervous about it. We stayed in my great-grandmother's home. She lives directly across the street from my grandma. They live very close to each other, for 7 days. It was a blast. Now that we are back at school and continuing the semester, my GF keeps asking for my great-grandmother's address. Both my great-grandmother and my grandmother were English Lit teachers, and my GF keeps saying she wants to write a letter to each of them to thank them for everything they did for her during our stay. Here's the thing, I get where she's coming from. I do. I just don't want to give her the address. She did not know it while we were staying there, purely because she never asked and never paid attention and I was driving everywhere in my grandma's car. I think it's kind of creepy and stalkerish to do. I told her I could give her their phone numbers to text them, but she said that she thought they would really appreciate a handwritten letter, and she said she'd rather do that because it seems more personal. I told her I think it's creepy and that I think they'd find it creepy, and she got upset at me. She said that I blew it out of proportion and it's how people communicated earlier anyway, and she just thought it was a thoughtful thing to do. I am not budging on this, don't worry. I'm not going to let her force me into it. But she is upset with me and hasn't spoken to me properly since our fight, last night. So I want to know, who is the idiot here? There's more to it, though. My grandmother was married to a really vile man, my grandfather I don't talk to him, and he was abusive towards her. She left him and they divorced. For years after the divorce, he continued to stalk her and send her threatening letters. She and I are very close, and she confided in me that she still gets nervous opening letters from people she doesn't know. She had a restraining order against him, but it does not matter now, because he is in hospice care a few states away. I am worried that if my GF sends her and my great-grandmother a letter, it will freak her out. You are the idiot. The letter is not creepy. If you're worried that it will freak out, Grandma tells her that it's coming. I would say to send it yourself, but doubt you can muster for that. All these women deserve better than what you're currently offering. Your GF is being very sweet. Letters were very common for most of your grandma's life. Even with her trauma, getting a letter from someone she clearly likes, with a heads up from you, might help heal that hurt some. No idiots here, you're in the wrong, but your heart's in the right place. I just explain your grandmother's fear to your GF, have her give you the letters, and then send them yourself and be sure to put your name in the top corner so she knows it's not from a stranger. You could also let your grandma know to expect the letter from you and your GF so it's not a surprise. I think your grandmas would really appreciate it. It would mean a lot to them. I'm a millennial and it would mean a lot to me to receive a heartfelt handwritten snail mail letter. You are the idiot, thank you notes are not creepy. What's creepy about saying thank you to someone for a lovely time? If you were my boyfriend, this would be a weird red flag for me. Especially since you won't share why you feel a letter might upset your grandmother. And as I mentioned before, Grandma would see the return address and know who the letter is from. And honestly, if your GF simply Googled the addresses, she could send the letters anyway. My boyfriend is an extremely successful professional. He's kind and humble, definitely has a nice body, etc. He's well adjusted in literally everything else except diet. We've been together 3 years and in that time all I've noticed this guy will eat is goddamn pizza. Most days he'll go to one of those cheap halal places and buy a small pizza, cut it up, and toss it into a salad. Family gatherings, he'll go straight for the pizza. Dinner time, pizza. We go to Five Guys, he'll get a freaking grilled cheese with a side of pickles. Date night. Fancy pizza places. He will not stray. I've spoken to him about it and he just shrugs and says it's what he prefers. I've told him how upsetting it is for my boyfriend and me to want to experience interesting cuisine together, but I can't do that because all he'll eat when we are out is pizza. I've asked him if it's a comfort thing or if he thinks he has an eating disorder, but he just swears up and down he actually just likes and prefers pizza. I've asked him to be more adventurous and he says he will but never actually does. His birthday was last week and I was just so at my wit's end and sick of goddamn pizza that I organized dinner at a Japanese place which my parents love and his parents love. We went and he was genuinely so upset that there was no pizza, he just drank cocktails all night and didn't eat at all. He was a good sport and engaging to everybody, but I felt awful that he didn't eat. When we were on our way home he thanked me but said he was really sad that he didn't get to eat his favorite food. I'm in two minds about whether or not I'm the idiot here, because I feel bad he didn't get to eat at his own birthday dinner, but at the same time, I've never seen him eat anything else other than pizza and that's God's honest truth. You are the idiot. I admit it is weird he likes pizza as much as he does, but how is this something to obsess over or get angry about? You say he keeps his health, so what's the big deal? I think you're really taking this way too far. My wife really likes durian and would eat it every single day if she could, but I wouldn't change her tastes over it if she did, even though I can't stand it. Who cares? It's just food. Not the idiot. Even if it was his birthday, his inflexibility in regards to trying new cuisine is insensitive, selfish, And a red flag in my opinion. He couldn't even try the food? What an idiot. It was his birthday dinner, but his and your family were celebrating and getting together to have a good time, and he affected that by being a grown man unwilling to eat anything but pizza. Ridiculous. No idiots here. It's ridiculous you should have to always eat pizza. This was a place that you, your family, and his family like, and he needs to not act like a 3-year-old when there isn't pizza on the menu. He isn't the idiot either for wanting his favorite food for his birthday. But seriously, I wouldn't be able to stay with someone that is so picky. Unless you absolutely love this man and he is willing to go out and experience new food, I would recommend seriously considering leaving. My friend invited my husband and me to a 40th birthday party for her husband. The party was going to be at a fairly upscale restaurant with dancing afterward. We've been working on some remodeling projects, so we've been on a strict budget. My husband and I wanted to attend the party without breaking the bank, so we decided to share an appetizer and entree and only have one drink apiece. When we got to the party, we were ushered into a private party room. When we were seated, we were given pre-planned menus with several options for appetizers, entrees, and desserts. I asked a passing waiter if I could order a la carte instead of getting the pre-planned menu. The waiter indicated that the meal was being paid for by the hosts, and because we're part of the party, we needed to order from the pre-planned menu. My friend is a bit wealthier than we are and has always been really generous about their parties, but I was blown away that they would host 15 plus people at this restaurant. As the meal was ending, the main server approached my friend's husband with a check. My friend's husband seemed to be a little upset, and said, "I know this isn't how you normally do things, but we are only paying for the wine. We told you that." I suddenly started panicking inside. I was trying to catch someone else's eye to see if they were panicking as much as I was. One other couple looked horrified, but everyone else seemed calm. I opened the check, and the total was $211. I thought I was going to throw up. I have never spent that much on a meal. I shut up because I didn't want to make a scene. The couple that looked horrified sidled over to us and we asked if they knew how much it was going to cost and that our friend wasn't paying. They said they had asked the waiter too, and he had indicated the hosts were paying. I ended up messaging her and said, "Thanks so much for inviting us to party. We had a great time. Just a heads up for next time, we really need to know if going to a party is going to cost more than $100. We are on a really tight budget, so a heads up would be appreciated. Thanks again." My friend said, "Sorry. Should have given you a heads up. Glad you came." And we haven't spoken or hung out since. I've tried to set up coffee dates and girls' nights, but she just bails or never responds. It's been almost 3 months, and she doesn't seem to want to talk to me at all. Not the idiot, sounds as if their privilege blinded them from remembering their manners. It was totally appropriate for you to bring this up. The way you did so was pretty gentle, too. You didn't make a scene, you thanked them for the invitation, you told them in a direct but friendly manner. Sounds as if your friend is feeling really embarrassed. Maybe others had also talked to them and now they aren't sure how to backtrack their faux pas. Everyone's the idiot here. She shouldn't have sprung it on you, but you also overreacted with a passive-aggressive message. Should have got over it and learned your lesson of not going to a fancy restaurant and not expecting to pay. You're also not entirely broke, you are saving for projects. $211 isn't an obscene amount of money and something you can take on the chin, and know better to be clearer on how the night is being funded before eating the meal. Not the idiot. Your friend is avoiding you because her husband made her look bad by refusing to pay for anything other than the wine, which was probably cheap. I'm sure she's embarrassed and doesn't know what to say to you or to others who she was made to look awful by her husband. If you want to salvage the friendship, then tell her that. Send her a text saying that even though you were surprised about the bill, it's not worth losing the friendship if that's why she's avoiding you. If she still doesn't reply, just let it go. I am 13. I have braces. We were getting our school photos taken and my mom told me not to smile with my mouth open during the photo so my braces don't show. I said okay, but was unsure of how to look good in the photo with my mouth closed. I'm not good at smiling with my mouth closed. When it was my turn to get my photo taken, the cameraman told me to smile. I am not good at speaking up, so I just sat there uncomfortably and moderately smiled, or tried to, with my mouth closed. The camera guy again said, "Come on, give me a smile." I gave in and gave a nice, big smile. He was very friendly and not at all condescending. Later, when my mom saw the photo, she got angry with me and said, "I told you not to smile with your mouth open." I told her that the cameraman told me to smile, so that's why I did. I then told her that she was being shallow for being so upset about my braces showing and caring so much about what other people will think when they see this picture. She cares a lot about how her kids look to other people, especially relatives. Yes, braces are unattractive, but they're part of who I am. For the time being, they're fixing my teeth, so why hide them? She again got angry at me for calling her shallow, disrespectful, and that I should have listened to her and not the cameraman. Not the idiot. Your mom seems to really have some insecurity issues. Be proud of who you are up. Braces are only temporary. If possible, I would have a sit down with your mom. Explain to her that you are not trying to disrespect her. Explain to her that the braces are a part of you and how you don't feel you should conceal them in order to be portrayed in any specific way. Don't call her names. Just a casual conversation is all you need. You seem very wise and mature at 13. I'm impressed by your ability to self-reflect, and your confidence. Also, good for you for recognizing that braces are not something to be ashamed of. Maybe next time, instead of calling your mom shallow, try talking to her about why she is so concerned about appearances. Knowing why she feels this way will help you to understand her better, and maybe it will help her to see that she is putting a lot of pressure on you. Good luck, and enjoy rocking those braces. I wore them too at your age. Not the idiot. She is shallow. That's awful of her to basically encourage you to be embarrassed about how you look and that you should look good for other people, not for yourself. This screams insecurity on her part. I had braces all through high school. It was rough, but I embraced them. Guess what? Literally, no one cared because everyone else had them too. Your mom needs to stop putting pressure on you to make her look good. It's damaging.